My unit, salute! BC's got about a half an hour and a fresh Starbucks pistachio latte. Double shot, 3 pumps. So you bet your ass you're going to get a special Tuesday evening amped up to 1925. A lot of good discussions, a lot of good stories to go over. Huge update on Corey Graves coming up in this upload. Michael Cole speaking out on the Corey Graves situation. And what Michael Cole says is a huge eye-opener, man, which just leads to one individual now, Hunter Helmsley, putting Corey Graves into groundment, into the doghouse, punished. We'll talk about it. Michael Cole opening up about the Corey Graves situation. We're also going to discuss Eric Bischoff. A lot of fans calling him out for hypocrisy now, right? Yet again, it's his shtick, right? Kind of burying AEW. But his latest words have a lot of fans going, well, hold up. You just described Hunter Hearst Helmsley in WWE, didn't you? But Bischoff will not say that, man. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. He would love to get some more dates on WWE television, so he's not going to say that. But fans are like, wait a second, bro. You keep saying this about this company. What about this? We'll give you exactly what Eric Bischoff said, and you guys can decide. We're also going to talk NXT from last night, a big show, and they're promoting an even bigger show next week with the return of the Hardy Boys and Moose. TNA's Moose debuts last night with WWE NXT. It was a show that was dominated by the female division, which many are saying, including BC, that this brand, NXT, has the best women's roster on the planet right now. And it's hard to argue that. And that's been the talk ever since Vengeance Day on Saturday night. So here we are days later, and I think Shawn Michaels, he wanted to highlight that. He was hearing what everybody was talking about since Saturday night, and I think Michaels was like, well, let's showcase all of them, because that's basically what you did. A huge 6-woman tag, you had a straight-up tag, you had a triple threat to kick the night off for Stephanie's North American Championship #1 contendership. It was a big show. We're going to go over it, guys. I was actually able to catch most of it, actually all of it. Yeah, I did a full review on this, man. I did my notes on all of it. I may have had to do side business 2-3 times for a few minutes at a time. But I think I was able to do my due diligence on all of it. So we'll go over NXT as well, guys. So, like I said, it's a packed, stacked, jacked show on this Tuesday evening edition of Amped Up. Again, fresh coffee. I got at least a half an hour, so I say we get right into it. No opening signature. We're going to start off with... We'll do the Corey Graves story, because that's very interesting, man. It's an eye-opener. Salute, unit. 44 dive. We rollin'. Let's do this. And before we kick it off, actually, I want to start with a big shout out to our channel member of the week. We just started that this week, man. Another way for BC to honor my channel members. Every single week, we will pick randomly, absolutely randomly, one of our channel members, whether it's straight up gold team, 1 year and under, 1 to 2 years, our diamond channel members, any holder of a diamond card, or 2 years plus, which is our VIP coffee club, the golden coffee card. But no matter what card you hold as a channel member, you're all eligible channel member of the week, sitting at the head of that board of directors table of the Amplified unit, and it happens to be Jacqueline Robinson this week. And that's fitting, because Jacqueline just sent us an extra coffee, and I think that was our last upload, or was it the live stream from last night? But either way, it was a super chat, super thanks down below. So Jacqueline throwing in extra coffee, extra support, already a channel member. So if that's not badass, man, top tier status, I don't know what is. Thank you, Jacqueline, for the membership and then the extra coffees that you chuck, man, the extra support. I cannot agree with you more about Karrion Kross. You know that, though. You've been with this channel even before we were doing memberships. So you know how I feel about Karrion Kross and so many others. Vincent Kennedy botched him. And Hunter might be botching him even more. I don't know. Vince did a number on him with that stupid mask and the suspenders. I don't know what he was doing. But Hunter, it's just stop, go, and then just keep him in the back, and then just... I mean, it's sad to say, but if you told me Karrion just got released, I probably wouldn't be that shocked. It would be frustrating. It would be a surprise, because how can you lose such a talent twice now? But I truly believe he's more than just bells and whistles. He just never has gotten a steady chance on the main roster. Never has gotten a real chance, guys. So I know a lot of people bash Karrion Kross, what he can't do and what he shouldn't be doing, what he's unable to do, but we don't know that. Vince and Hunter has never truly given him a chance. So, Jacqueline, totally agree with you, and I hope that changes soon. It's sad. A lot of people thought with that Wyatt feud, I put that in quotes because it was never a feud. It's about a month. The payoff was in the middle of a Monday Night Raw. Howdy gets some powder to his eyes, looks up at the lights, 1, 2, 3, and basically Wyatts were not seen again. They quietly go to SmackDown, and Karrion Kross and Final Testament was just as obscure, irrelevant. In fact, AOP with Paul Ellering ended up becoming released. Not a word about it. The whole faction just imploded quietly. Wyatt's not seen again. If you're telling me that was Hunter's plan, that was his story, that was his vision, well, isn't that the problem? Jacqueline Robinson, appreciate it. Channel Member of the Week. Chucking in extra coffee via the super thanks. Man, that's badass. Let me give you a proper salute. It's my show. I can do that. Jacqueline Robinson. All right, let's get into it. Start off with Michael Cole speaking out on the Corey Graves situation. I believe this was from Logan Paul in his podcast. Logan Paul just asking what's the situation with that. That was a big story, and Corey still is not doing PLEs or anything. He's pretty much stuck there in NXT, being the third wheel on Vic Joseph and Booker T's production, basically. So this is what Michael Cole says to Logan Paul about Corey Graves. This is a quote. Michael Cole says the following about Corey Graves. That is a strange situation. I love Corey. I still don't understand all the dynamics of it. I know that he sent something out on social media that was pretty critical of the company. He tried to explain to everyone that he was just trying to curate some interest in a storyline. I don't think the company saw it that way. He and the company are currently trying to work it out. End quote. That is a lot to decipher. He says there's so much. Where do you want to start? First of all, how about the fact that he keeps referring to the company was not happy? I told you guys, Michael Cole has direct control over all the commentators. That is a position above just commentator, guys. He is in control of all commentators. It is his approval with Hunter. Tessa Torre, even though that was a favor to The Rock, so he was going to get that job anyway, Joe Test still has to get that approval and run through all of the test sessions, no pun intended to Tess, but all the test sessions with Michael Cole, and if this is even going to work. Pat McAfee has that job because Michael Cole went to bat so many times. In fact, a lot of people don't even realize, but Pat McAfee was about to walk out at WrestleMania several years ago because Vince McMahon was furious that he was wearing shorts. Told Michael Cole to get him out of there or change. Michael Cole was yelling at him too, like, dude, what are you doing? Pat McAfee was pissed off. But Cole ended up calming everything down and went to bat for Pat. Now they're good buddies, and now they yeet in the front row every single Monday. But everything is Michael Cole first. Then you get to Hunter Helmsley when it comes to the commentators. So that's eye-opening. He refuses to say it's him. He's saying publicly, like, the company didn't see it that way. The company is pissed off. He's got to be talking, obviously, because I told you it's only one of two or both, Michael Cole or Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So he's clearly talking Hunter Hearst Helmsley. If you think the CEO of Endeavor, TKO, Ari Emanuel, is spending time on Corey Graves talking about how he's not famous enough to keep a job that he always dreamt of, and that's what Ari has called an emergency meeting on. We have to punish Corey. Right, this isn't any company. This isn't just WWE. This is any company. You will find that the top of the food chain will never fall all the way down into the weeds with the common folk, because that's how they see it. That is why you have in stores, you will have the assistant manager, the store manager, then the operations manager. It should never reach the top of the chain. If you're working for Amazon, Jeff Bezos or whoever's running that now should never have to hear about how the store down in Kentucky had an employee that was pissed off and had words with the manager. That shouldn't reach Jeff Bezos' desk. No, he's not going to handle that. There's people that will take care of that. Shapiro, Nick Khan, and Ari Emanuel are not taking care of Corey Graves in his social media post. This is Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And I would say Michael Cole, but Cole is washing his hands with this. Cole is saying, dude, I love Corey. I don't know. The company is upset. The company, it's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's the chief content officer. He runs the talent. Chief of creative, chief of content, and the overall ruler of talent. Who do you think? Do you honestly think Hunter doesn't know where Corey is right? Where's Corey been? I haven't seen him on Raw and SmackDown. Oh, Hunter, we moved him down to NXT. Oh, I did really? Yeah, he did some posts. Did you see the? No, I didn't hear anything about it. Yes, Hunter has no idea. Maybe, you know what? That would make a lot of sense, actually, if he didn't have any idea. But he does. So that's eye-opening, man. Michael Cole is saying, dude, a lot of people think it is me because I do run the commentators, but no, the company is pissed off. So, and if you don't know what we're even talking about, guys, Corey Graves got demoted. It is. He may not have lost any pay, but it's still a demotion because it's pulling in half the audience to what a Raw or a SmackDown would pull. Maybe not anymore because they're falling so low, and especially Raw. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. But it's a sizable difference in audience, and that's how many people are now hearing him. So, yeah, that's a demotion in job. It's a demotion in your job, right? In any job that you go to, even if you're getting the same pay, if you're taking a lot lesser role, a lot less prestigious role, a role where a lot less people can now hear you, yeah, it's a downgrade. It's a demotion. So he was not happy about that. And he said, imagine working your ass off, busting your ass for your dream job, having it taken away from you, but finding something so close that you're so good at and being told you're not famous enough for it. Now, a lot of people that don't like Corey go, dude, stop, you're full of yourself. A lot of people are like, listen, Corey was good, man, and he does have a point. No matter which side of the fence you're on, dude was pissed off and he had a right to be. And he was put into the doghouse, man. He was told to go home on that Tuesday night. He comes back the following week, and the first words he said was, this is exactly where I want to be, NXT. He would have never said that unless the company, Hunter, said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to work. You're going to go to NXT. You're going to say this is exactly where you want to be, and you're going to do exactly as you're told. And ever since, Corey Graves has been a good little boy. Because he is on a short leash and he is obeying WWE, the company, as Michael Cole calls it. But that's the first eye-opening thing, right? Cole is washing his hands with this and saying, no, this is the company. This is Hunter Helmsley, obviously. But the other eye-opening thing from this is when he says that Corey Graves, this is a quote, I know that he sent something out on social media that was pretty critical of the company. He tried to explain to everyone that he was trying to curate some interest in a storyline. But the company, he says, I don't think the company saw it that way. Guys, do you see? Michael Cole just admitted that Corey Graves came back with his tail tucked between his legs, completely caved in, did not want to lose that WWE paycheck. Corey Graves, instead of standing by his words and going, yeah, dude, come on, man. I bust my ass, and every single time Pat wants to come back, you guys are like, deuces, do this, do that. We'll call you when Pat's going back to college football, or when Pat's got to go away for a show, or Pat can't make it. We'll send you in, Corey. And Corey's like, I'm the one doing all the day-to-day operation. Instead of standing by his words, manning up, and just going, you know what, let's go, let's do this. This is how I feel. I should be respected, I feel. And if you guys do not meet me halfway and respect me like that, then maybe there is a bigger issue, and I'd love to know how we can correct that. Stand by your words. You're going to be better off for it in the long run, and the company will respect you more. Instead, Corey tried to sell it off like he was trying to curate a storyline. He went into business for himself, did not get approval from Cole or Hunter Helmsley or anybody, and he tried to make this a storyline. The only problem is nobody else knew about it. That's bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. The dude just found out he got demoted to NXT because Pat Mack is back. Pat Mack is back, and Corey Graves is back in NXT. And he was legit heated, and that post tells you genuine feelings. And when the company, Hunter had to call him in, sit him down for his punishment, Corey backtracked, backpedaled. Dude, it's a storyline. It's pro wrestling. I was just trying to do a storyline. That's why I also said in my second post, I have so much to say tonight on NXT. Again, the only problem is he never told anybody else. The dude completely tried to act like it was a storyline. That's not how he feels. He's a company guy. He has no problem on the headset. Booker T saw through it. Booker T says he didn't like a word that he said. Hasn't talked to Corey Graves, personally anyway, since that post went out. That tells you something because they've been working together for weeks. And Booker has not had a one-on-one convo. But he said sometime in the future we're going to have to because I didn't like it. That's Booker T. That's Booker. That's wild, man. Corey Graves tried to put it off like it was all a storyline, and the company didn't buy into it. That's what Michael Cole said. The company didn't see it that way. The company's like, that's what I mean. They probably lost respect for him because he wasn't honest. Just stand by the words at that point, man. Tell us you're pissed off. Tell us the reasons why. Maybe, find an ounce of respect for you. Wild, man. Wild. Michael Cole said a mouthful in that one paragraph. And he, again, claims that it's not him. It's the company. And again, I don't see Ari Emanuel, Shapiro, and Nick Khan with all of the actual business and the financials and everything that they have to talk about on a 24-hour day. I don't think Corey Graves is the conversation while Hunter's over there making a latte. The company in this situation is Hurst Helmsley. That's the Corey Graves situation. Corey seems to be firmly planted in groundment still, if you guys are checking out NXT. Vic Joseph had to come and do SmackDown. Did you see that? Everyone thought it might be Corey Graves if he's out of the doghouse. Nope, they brought in Vic Joseph, not Corey Graves. Moving on, Eric Bischoff. You guys hear this? Finally, people are calling out the hypocrisy in this dude because he's always bashing AEW, but we kind of know that's like the shtick now, right? It's a company that's got about 600 to 650,000 viewership. It's been around 5 to 6 years. It's going to find its footing. I always say this. Vince went through ebbs and flows over the course of 40 plus years, right? WWE, ups, downs. Tony will find it. Maybe he won't. Maybe it's not Eric's cup of coffee. I get it. But you kind of see where it becomes just a shtick. And this company that is just pulling the 650, why Bischoff would feel the need to continue to just bash it would tell you it's an agenda, it's a narrative. It's a shtick at this point. But you got to be careful because if you take it too far, the fans will see through the hypocrisy, right? And they'll call you out for the contradictions. In this case, the following quote that Bischoff said about AEW, and I'll give you it word for word. Bischoff says, and I quote about AEW, that promotion That promotion is certainly the toilet bowl. And it's because of the creative. It's because of the lack of creative structure and the lack of vision. To which a lot of fans at BC is absolutely going to raise my hand in that same category. A lot of fans going, wait, you just described Helmsley in World Wrestling Entertainment. Let me say it again. Bischoff says this about AEW. That promotion is certainly the toilet bowl, and it's because of the creative. It's because of the lack of creative structure and the lack of vision. What the Now, Bischoff will never say that about World Wrestling Entertainment because he's hoping to get that call and go to WWE television, get that bigger money, bigger spotlight, so he thinks, right? That's the better call to get. But what is Hunter doing that is so grand and creative and grand vision? Is it putting Dakota Kai in there with Val face versus face in a match we've already seen a few weeks ago? It's a rematch, face versus face match between Dakota and Valkyria. When you could have just had Ivy Nile go over Dakota, and then Val has a heel to work with. And maybe even build a storyline around Ivy and Val. What a concept. No, Hunter chooses Dakota and we get a rematch face versus face. Io, a face, taking on Rhea, a face next week. Roxy debuts this Monday as a heel, because that's what she's been for months in NXT, and she faces another heel, Raquel. Heel versus heel, the crowd completely silent because they didn't know what to do. It's a heel versus a heel. They both tell the crowd to fuck off. So they don't know what to do. A silent crowd during an actually good match. That's Hunter's vision. WrestleMania is less than 2 months away. The two matches that they're currently building WrestleMania around is Charlie Flair once again going for her 85th title, and Jason Uso versus Gunther in a rematch of a rematch of a rematch. Jason Uso winning the title to Yeet with 70,000 people is the grand moment this year. Other than that, you have 2 nights of WrestleMania. It expanded to 2 nights, and Hunter can't even fill 1 night. You're going to get last-minute matches, random, fatal 4-ways, triple threats, just to fit everybody on the card last minute. That's what you're seeing. Where's the grand vision? Shinsuke has a U.S. championship, and all he does every week is just roams around backstage, creepily staring at people from way off in the distance, in the corner. It's Shinsuke. He's making his weekly creepy staring session. Every Monday night, your IC champion, Braun Breaker, is just walking around backstage, walking up to people and grunting. Looking at his title. And then he walks off. That's what he does every week. This past week, he actually got ballsy. He came out through the curtain and he actually walked to the ring. Tried to spear AJ Styles. AJ laughed at him, moved, and he took out Ludwig to the point where Michael Cole literally said Braun Breaker was humiliated and embarrassed as his plan backfired. The one time this dude leaves backstage and he looks like a clown. That's Braun Breaker's booking with Shinsuke. They just walk around backstage for 2 months. Where's the vision? Where's the creative structure for your title holders? The tag team division, don't even get me started, please. Please. You could go on and on and on. There's no storylines. There's no creative structure. There's no vision. There's nothing with Hunter Hearst Helmsley's WWE. But it's all elite wrestling that you want to focus and concentrate on nonstop. The company that's about 5 to 6 years old-ish, give or take, that will find its footing, hopefully. But that's what you just want to bash while they're down. You don't want to put any focus on World Wrestling Entertainment. You don't want to call Hunter out on anything. Hunter's just doing a phenomenal job. Because if that's the case, the numbers would show you such. Record revenue is for Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, and all them. Record revenue is because Vince McMahon cashed in, right? Got the big cable television deal, first of all, with Fox. Then he got the Netflix deal, or at least centerpieced it. So yeah, record revenue's coming, especially when you take the big PLEs, pay-per-views out of the States and you're going to all these other countries. You restructure the deal with Saudi that's giving you millions per show. Yeah, business is booming financially. What about all the other numbers, Eric Bischoff? Oh, I'm glad you asked. BC's got those numbers for you. Cable ratings down. The USA Network now has officially went in for SmackDown to the 1.3s. No longer 1.5s or even 1.4s. This past week, 1.3 sem-odd. Cable ratings down on Friday nights. Netflix's Monday Night Raw down in every metric, globally and domestic. Global viewership has been cut in more than half. Started near 6, currently under 2.8 globally. That's just in a little over a month to 2 months, if even. They've lost more than half of their global viewership. Domestically, US, 1.2. 1.2 is what they're pulling domestically, down from what they would have been on cable, roughly 1.5 to 1.6. So nearly 400,000 more viewers have stopped watching since they moved to Netflix, whether that's because they don't have Netflix or Roku or whichever. It's not good. They were hoping they were going to get new viewers in the U.S. when they get to Netflix. That 1.5 to 1.6 will maybe get back over 2 million. 1.2, and they continue to lose by the week, telling you that those that do have the streaming service are choosing that this product sucks. I'm not done, Bischoff. Merchandise sales down still 40% to just a few years past. 40%. That's with the Yeet Master in his yeeting shirts. Remember, he was pushing all this merch? You can add him, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, all of the top merch sellers. Put them all together, they're down 40%. Sellouts. Find it odd that WWE is not calling every show on television sellouts leading up to Mania already? Yeah, even last year they were claiming that. Remember, that was a lie too. About 13 of those were not legit sellouts, but they said it anyway. They'll probably continue to do that. But you're starting to hear a lot of shows, they're not talking about sellouts. What happened in just 1 year? But so many just want to act like WWE is doing everything correct because revenue business is booming. What about every other metric that is down? The ones that have to do with the actual fan base. That interest is down in every metric. Let's spend some time turning over here and going, oh shit, man, it's WrestleMania season. Why doesn't it feel that way? Why is all these metrics down? Why is viewership down on Raw so much? Why is SmackDown going down to about a 1-2 as well? Why is the merchandise sales, even with the Yeet Master, so low? Why can we not sell out every arena leading up to Mania? Why are we not, like, legit sellouts, not just WWE claiming it? Right, all these question marks. Maybe Hunter Helmsley is not producing good shows. Maybe he's not good at creative. Maybe he doesn't have vision. All the things you just said about AEW All Elite Wrestling. The tribalism has to stop. It is such bullshit. And I understand the Bischoffs, they get maybe it leads to the clicks and the views and there's an audience for that. But man, you should be about making pro wrestling great again, man. You should want every company to succeed, dude. AEW, TNA, the local bingo hall, World Wrestling Entertainment. Tell the truth. If you want to spend some time bashing AEW, have at it. But let's save some ample time to also talk about what the big boy on the block, the WWE, the conglomerate that's been around for decades, that should have no excuse as to why the product is this sour, this bad with creative and lack of vision. That's what you should be talking about too. Keep it straight, keep it honest. 44 dive straight up the middle. No fucking around. It's nice that Bischoff got called out on that, man. A lot of people are like, hold up, dude. Hold up. Now, AEW is the toilet bowl because they have no creative and no vision. What do you think we're witnessing this WrestleMania season, or what we've been witnessing for the last couple of years under Hunter Helmsley, and years before that under Vincent Kennedy? Finally, Bischoff understands that a lot of what he's saying, even though it's shtick, even though it's a narrative and an agenda, eventually you take it to a point where it's like, bro, you're going to have to turn the other cheek and say, dude, hey, WWE, how you doing? Because looks like you're pretty rough right now, too. Very hypocritical. Luckily, fans are seeing through that, though. They're like, hold up. Let's keep it honest. Let's go to NXT, man. I said a half an hour. Dude, I'm going over. Oh, boy. Oh, we got to make this a little bit fast, no? I'll try to run down this, guys. NXT 2:18:25. Moose faces off with Oba. Oba later stating, by the way, that you are going to get that match. Whether there's titles on the line, wherever that is, you're going to get Moose versus Oba. So those really looking forward to that, you're going to get that. But Moose from TNA. Now, also, guys, they did set up a match with Moose and Lexis King, I believe, for next week. Heritage Cup is on the line with Moose's championship. I believe both are on the line. No? Or is it just the Heritage Cup? I'll do some more digging for you. Hopefully I'll have more info on the next upload. But Moose faces off with Oba, and then a match set up with Lexis King for next week. So big business being done with Moose and WWE, man. NXT. What a moment for that dude. See the entrance. He's all mean mugging. That Moose entrance. A lot of people, he's a little bit older. He's not a spring chicken, man. He's not 22, 23 years old. But dude is, I think he's in his 40s, correct? So that's what I mean. He's one of those dudes where this has been the dream, and he just unfortunately didn't get to it. Got close. TNA gave him the ball, and he rocked with it, scored some touchdowns. And all of a sudden, if you play the game long enough, sometimes, man, you make it to the team that you want to, and there he is, man. WWE NXT television. Pretty cool moment. First matchup of the night. Oh, man, this was wild because it's two of my favorites in this industry. Kalani Jordynne and Jada Parker. This was a triple threat. I can't stand multi-person schmaz matches. They're lazy. It lets the promoter off the hook. I don't know what to do. Let me just throw everybody in there. That way more people get TV time and I don't have to get creative. So it's a triple threat number one contenders match for Stephanie's newly won North American title. She just won that at Vengeance Day Saturday night. Kalani Jordynne versus Jada Parker versus Carmen Petrovic. Parker takes out Jordynne. I love the high knees, by the way. Jada Parker. I love Kalani Jordynne. And somehow I might be loving Jada Parker lately even more than Kalani. But Jada's high kneeing after she takes out Kalani Jordynne. But as she's high kneeing, Carmen covers Jordynne for the pin. 1, 2, 3, bro. So Jada was pissed because she did all the work. Carmen just picked up the pieces. Carmen with a massive W. I'm not thrilled with Kalani Jordynne eating another pin. If you guys have been following lately, I've been saying that because she's been collecting too many L's lately and literally taking pins. Kalani's too good for that. I mean, I know that sounds horrible, right? Nobody is too good for it. No, she is. She's that good. I haven't seen somebody so naturally like to that athletic ability and that type of charisma and just in the ring, wrestling. I know on the microphone, people are like, Mercedes didn't have it on the mic or this. That's your prerogative. But in the ring, there's just a special uniqueness. It's the best way to put it. It's a uniqueness, so not everybody has it. And I haven't seen that since Mercedes. I just saw it with Kalani. I've been seeing it with Kalani. A lot of that ties in with Mercedes, Sasha Banks. So I just don't like seeing her eat all these, take all these pins. But that being said, I totally understand the reasoning, right? Stephanie just got the title. Stephanie's not losing that anytime soon. So you have to stack up people in front of her. Carmen Petrovic absolutely is a reasonable first victim for Stephanie. Sorry, not sorry, Carmen. I mean, hey, she gets a little bit of spotlight, a little bit of a rub, but there's no way she's beating Stephanie. So they gave that to Carmen and not Jada or Kalani. I'm fine with that. And then after the match, Kalani and Jada just start throwing bows at one another. So their feud's heating up. So two of my favorites are in a feud right now. I love it. Kalani and Jada. So I understand the reasoning. I'm just not thrilled with Kalani taking that L. Post-match, again, Jada and Jordynne brawl. In the ring, Fatal Influence hits the ring, and they take out Petrovic. Again, Fatal Influence has Fallon Henley. Fallon just lost the North American title to Stephanie. This match was for the number one contender, so they're not happy with whoever was going to win. So another reason I'm okay with Carmen winning. Fatal Influence jumps in, takes her out. Giulia, Stephanie, and Jordynne Grace then hit the ring during commercial break, but it was a picture-in-picture side-by-side. So you see Giulia, Stephanie, and Jordynne Grace hit the ring. They take out Fatal Influence. This sets up a 6-woman tag main event for later in the night. Immediately, I'm thinking, that's not good for Fatal Influence. That's another L. They're already dug so deep, I don't think they can get out of that hole. As a group, I think Fatal Influence is done. Booking-wise, it looks like they gave up on him. So I said, I don't think you're obviously not beating Stephanie, Giulia, and Jordynne. But we'll go over that in a couple of minutes. But that was the main event that was set up. So a big triple threat match there in post extracurricular activities. And then you have a straight women's tag match. Jackson and Legend, right? You had, who was that again? Sol Ruca and Zarya, that's right. So you had Jackson and Legend versus Sol Ruca, Zarya. Ruca hits Soul Snatcher on Jackson for the W. They got some weird team here with Zarya and Sol Ruca. They're almost trying to make it like a Kane, Daniel Bryan. It's unique, but I understand with the amount of talent that they have in that brand that you got to kind of get creative or think outside the box. So they're putting Zarya with Soul. I'm actually okay with it. If they can make this make sense, do right by them with solid booking, it could be fun. If they don't do those things, it could fall off the rails before it even is on the track. So we'll see. But Sol Ruca, Zarya, and I just think it's one of the best moves in pro wrestling, that Soul Snatcher. But Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson were defeated in this tag match. And then we have Ricky Starks signs his WWE NXT contract to end hour number 1. And he hasn't been called Ricky Starks, so we were wondering, is he going to be that, or is WWE changing the name? And what's it going to be? Guys, we found out, and there is a huge controversy, backlash, conversation in the community of what WWE decided on. And I think Ricky obviously was given a list of names that he would like. Choose it. He went back to 100 because this is what Vince used to do. He would give you about 4 or 5 names. You get to choose. Sometimes Vince would just choose for you, yes. But a lot of times the talent gets to choose between about 3, 4, 5 names. Let's talk about what Ricky decided because the whole community's talking about it. So Ricky Starks, at the moment, this is what we're calling him, right? WWE is just referring him to him as Absolute. He's in there to sign his contract with Ava, right? Rock's daughter's in there. Ethan Page comes out, and the two go back and forth, and I thought this was great. A really good full circle moment, right? Ethan Page, Ricky Starks, two dudes that most wrestling fans knew nothing about when AEW started. But a lot of fans were like, all right, this Ethan Page is good. This Ricky Starks is good. Or at least they were put on the map. And here we are, all these months, several years later. Ethan Page is staring at Ricky Starks in a WWE NXT ring. It's just full circle. It was just what a moment, you know? And I was saying when Starks went over to NXT, I said, well, what happens with Ethan Page now, man? Because doesn't that just take the shine from him, the spot? So it's interesting that they put the two right into something from the beginning. Like, let's make that something. Let's take what BC said and let's make that the story. There it is. Ethan is not happy that Ricky is there. But Javon Evans would hit the ring and he and Page would brawl into the crowd. So that takes out the equation, or at least Ethan Page from the equation. This leaves Starks in the ring, but not for long by himself. Wes Lee would then come to the ring. Wes Lee felt that he and many of the other wrestlers backstage were disrespected by Ricky Starks because Ricky just walked by him all egotistical, nose up in the air, didn't say what's up. Wesley took great offense to that. Wesley is putting the locker room on his back, basically. You don't disrespect Wesley in this locker room. So Wesley asks Ava to make him Ricky's first match. Ricky's got no problem with that. Ava's got no problem with that. What'd they say? Next week, I believe? That match is set up. Lee goes to strike Ricky, but Ricky drops Wesley first, clotheslines him right over the top rope. Wesley's out of the equation. Now it just leaves Ava with that contract. Ricky signs it, does his little pose. And while he's doing the pose, his left hand is pointing at the contract. So the camera zooms in where he reveals the name. Ricky's new name is revealed. That contract says Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints. And at first, so BC will give you my first impression of that. I was like, no. I'm just telling you my first impression, guys. I was like, that's horrible. I can't look at him as Ricky Saints. But thinking about it more, and trying to get some more context with it, I'm hoping I can come around to it because I respect Ricky so much, guys. You guys know that. Ricky Starks just works with him. So it's going to take a minute, but somebody brought this up and I thought it was really brilliant because it was true. Everybody had an absolute fit when Walter turned into Gunther. Now I can't even see him as Walter. He just comes across as a Gunther to me. In the long run, it's probably better suited for him. Walter? That's just, now it just comes across as stupid. But back then, it was like, you don't change him. He's Walter. What the heck is a Gunther? And there's many names like that. But on top of that as well, was it a decision, too, where they already have Zoe Stark and they don't want Ricky Starks? But that would be absolutely stupid. How many pages are there in pro wrestling, right? From Diamond Dallas Page to Hangman Adam Page to Ethan Page. At one point, they were all in AEW too. I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's probably a bunch of other pages as well. But there's always going to be Starks. I hope that wasn't like the deal breaker. Because Zoe could be following Sonya Deville's path and probably be out of the company with Shayna Baszler within the next calendar year, unfortunately. But it doesn't look like they know what they're doing with Zoe. It doesn't look like they're happy with Zoe. Zoe's progress can't really bloom if there's no booking behind her. So was that another notch, though? Oh, we already have a Stark, Zoe. But I'm starting to trying to think of all these things. Somebody said that he's from New Orleans. I didn't fact. I don't see why that would be bullshit. He's from New Orleans, so he wanted to be Saints. The New Orleans Saints. It's like a little kickback salute to his football team. So again, I can't confirm that. I wanted to for you guys. I just didn't have the time. I'm going to be honest with you. But I did see that somewhere, that somebody was talking about how he's from New Orleans originally, so he was going with the Saints. I got to imagine that's a PR nightmare or at least a trademark. I don't know how you're going to put Saints on everything. But the legal department approved it. So I don't know. There's probably a lot that went into this decision. And Ricky, I feel, when it was all said and done, picked it himself. I'm not blaming Hunter on this one. Hunter said you got to be Ricky Saints. You just got to be Ricky Saints, kid. I think that he picked that. Now, did Hunter and WWE say we just couldn't get that Starks name? I hope that's not the case. If there was any way that he could be Ricky Starks, it is bullshit. It is stupid that he's not Ricky Starks because that's just who he is. That's like Cody Rhodes coming to WWE and being called Cody Roids. Or Cody Roll-Ups. Could you look at Cody and call him Cody Roll-Ups? Or Kenny Rhodes? Calvin Rhodes? I mean, we laugh, but it's true. I mean, you just changed the whole name of this guy. Ricky Starks is now Ricky Saints. It doesn't even roll off like Starks, but I'm hoping that changes. Again, Walter to Gunther was completely odd. We were outraged. Now it's pretty normal. I'm hoping that Ricky Saints follows suit. That was a massive, massive moment, guys. He points down to that contract. Ricky Saints is revealed. Backstage, No Quarter Catch challenges the Hardy Boys for next week's NXT. The Hardys are coming back to WWE. You knew when they went to TNA with this new relationship, it was only a matter of time. The only question was, will they go to the main roster for an appearance, or will they try to utilize Papa rating down in NXT? And they tried to pop that rating next week with the Hardy Boys announcement. Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff back in a WWE ring, the NXT brand. How wild is that, man? Can they move like they used to? Not even close. Are they 50% of what they used to be? Yeah, maybe even less on some nights. But if you think when that music plays that it ain't going to be an awesome welcome and a pretty cool sight to see the Hardys back, nah, you've been dropped on your dome piece a couple too many times as a kid, because it definitely is going to be a pretty special moment. Hardy Boys back, man. What an announcement. I had to do a double take when I heard that. I think I was jotting down some notes. I heard that and I popped up like, excuse me, what? Sean Spears then annihilates Stacks with the quickness. Sean Spears. Stacks got stacked within seconds. Big W for Sean Spears. Eddie Thorpe defeats, I believe it was Andre Chase. I was doing notes. I was doing a side call as well. Some side business. I think it was Andre Chase. That was a little longer than the Sean Spears Stacks match, but Chase University was out there. It looked like a bootleg broke Baron Corbin. I think it was Andre Chase, but Eddie Thorpe takes care of Chase University. We'll just put the whole university under the rug there, man. Eddie Thorpe with a W. Trick Williams says, "You ain't done with Trick Williams yet, boy." And I guess you're going to see Eddie Thorpe, Trick Williams again. Listen, after seeing Thorpe defeat Williams like we did at Vengeance Day, there's not much left that needs to be seen. Trick Williams, a monumental loss. You can beat Thorpe 4 more times in a row. It's not going to make up for that one, dude. And then Jordynne Grace, Stephanie Vaquer, and Giulia defeat Fatal Influence in the main event. Jordynne Grace with the pin. So, Fatal Influence, I've been saying this, but after this loss, can we all agree Fatal Influence is done, man? I mean, you can't book them out of this hole that you dug them in creatively. I mean, they don't win anything, or at least nothing big. All 3 of them are constantly getting whooped, sometimes by 3 individuals, sometimes 2, and sometimes just by 1. Fallon was the BC. One of them was just the champion, man, the North American title holder. How can you say that? Yeah, but what did it lead to? You're not going to remember that title reign, are you? Maybe you are. Maybe that's good for Fallon. That's not good for the group. When Io was the champion, right? Io was putting on good matches. This was recently when Io had it a few months ago, that championship. Damage Control as a group was done. You could not salvage them at that point. Still to this day, they're done. Io is the champ. That's great. The group, done. There was no... I mean, that's how badly they were ruined creatively, booking-wise. So, I just don't know. This main event, huge. It was a moment for Grace, Stephanie, and Giulia to look at the hard cam and go off the air, showing everyone once again what we saw on Saturday night, that the NXT Women's Division is the best on the planet. But what did it do for Fatal Influence, man? How many L's can you possibly give them? How many times can you book them like this before people finally go, oh, those are just a bunch of jobbers? I think we've already reached that point. That is your special Tuesday evening edition of Amped Up with BC. Until next time, there will be that next Tom 44 dive. That's a wrap. BC in the unit saying check you. Salute!